Moving into the auto setup, which is the Odyssey auto setup here, the start menu. You can start setup is, well, actually to connect the microphone if you don't have that connected. We don't have ours connected at the moment. The channel skip is if you want to skip certain channels from the auto setup, and then the ampersand just tells you what you're going to be doing with those extra 2 surround back amplifiers. So if you're going to be bi-amping with them, if you're going to be using a 7.1 system, if you want to have front wide or front height speakers powered off them instead, and there's that channel skip thing that we were just talking about. The front height and front wide speakers are for the new Dolby Logic Pro Logic 2Z or Odyssey DSX. Pro Logic 2Z will add 2 front height speakers, and Odyssey DSX can also add 2 front wide speakers as well. Moving into the manual setup, you've got the speaker setup, the ampersand there, which we just saw in the Odyssey menu. Again, you can do it here if you're not going to be using the Odyssey auto setup. You can do it manually yourself. Say there's the front height and front wide. And then there's the speaker configuration for the size of the speakers and the amount of speakers. Effectively, you can set up here for 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9.1, or of course 0.0 if you're not using a sub. You can see it's just just using those little graphics there just to help things along a bit. These redesigned menus are a lot easier to navigate than the older style menus prior to the AVR-4310. Then you've got the bass setting to set the signal sent to the subwoofer depending on the speakers used. Moving out of here is onto the speaker distance, which is in 10 cm or 1 cm increments for fine tuning. If you go into the meters, obviously you can measure it in feet as well. And then you can restore the defaults as well if you want, just by hitting that the default there, like so. Moving out of there, and then you've got the channel level is the next menu, which will be the test tone, which you alter in 0.5 dB increments. You can just set up which with the surround speakers if you're using A, B or A and B as well. And then this is the test tone menu we're all familiar with. And then you can reset the defaults there as well. And then the crossover frequency to set the frequency range dealt with by the sub. And then the surround speaker depending on your chosen DSP mode. You see there's more DSP settings there for like Dolby Gain, Dolby Height, 7-channel stereo. Moving out of here into the HDMI setup, the RGB range normal or enhanced, the vertical stretch on or off, the auto lip sync functionality on or off. You've got the HDMI Audio Out if you want the HDMI audio to go to the amp or pass through to the TV for TV speakers. The monitor out, whether you're using 1 or 2 or both. There is actually a button on the remote control that says home that will switch that manually as well. The HDMI control on or off, which HDMI is used for the, which it listens to for the standby source, which monitor output it's using, and then the power off control as well. And we have the audio setup, take out of here, there we go. External in setup, so the surround speaker again, A, B or A and B, and then the subwoofer level if you want to boost that. The 2-channel direct mode, if you want that as just the basic settings, or you can customise it. See there, so you can change it to a larger speaker instead of a small. You set the crossover. You can set the crossover for the subwoofer if you want the subwoofer to come on when you're doing just doing a stereo. Forcing it into stereo mode, you can have the subwoofer on if you wish, or if you don't, and then you could again fine tune the distance between the speakers and yourself. And the level. Also surround mode on or off. And then the EQ customise, which is whether you're using the manual EQ settings or not. And then the network setup. Network connecting, so you've got your IP address and whether you're using the DHCP. Going into detail, you can set the IP address manually. This is just done by using the remote control just to scroll through the numbers. So you can see there, you just pop it on, and it's that simple just to scroll through. And it's all done with the remote control, and it's a lot more simple than it was. So just scroll down out of here, pop out to exit, and again, and then move on to the other settings. So with the network functions are active in standby, so you can still control the unit with a network compatible controller. The alphabet used, if you're using Latin or Japanese, just we stick with Latin. The PC language, friendly name. Friendly name is the name of the unit as it appear on your network, so we'll leave that as Denon AVR-4310 now, but if you just wanted to call it AMP, you could do that there. The party mode, on or off, and then party start level volume. This is if you're using multiple units. See if there's any other Denon products on the network. Update and upgrade notifications will show you when you power on the unit whether there is a firmware update or a new feature to add. In the Napster account you can log into here again as well. And then the network information menu is just to show the display of the basic information. The MAC address there is available to view on the box and on the back of the amplifier as well. Zone setup is just, you've got your zone 2 or 3, and then the bass, treble, HPF, left channel level, right channel level, and then channel and volume display modes, and volume level and limit, power on level, the mute level, and then these will apply again for zone 3. So most of these are fairly self-explanatory. It's sort of tone controls and level limitations for the separate zones, and then again you can apply all of these settings again through to the zone 3 menu, which will just pop up in a moment. And then the option setup, you've got the volume control displayed whether it's a relative or absolute, so if it's displayed in dB or just displayed 0 through 99. The volume limit, the power level and the mute level. And the source delete if you want to completely remove something from when you're scrolling through. The GUI settings, so screensaver on or off. The wallpaper options if you want a picture, black, grey or blue. The TV format, the text information. The master volume, whether that appears on the bottom or the top of the screen, or you can turn that off. And then the on-screen display settings for the net USB and iPod as to how long they stay on the screen, or if they stay on there completely, or if they just turn off. And then the same again for the tuner. The quick select name, so you can rename your quick select modes. The zone rename again, just rename your three main zones there. The trigger out 1 and 2, most of these will default to on. There. And after this we've got the remote ID, so if you're using multiple units you can set a different remote so it doesn't interfere. And then the RS232 if you're using an external controller, or the two-way remote control. The dimmer sets the brightness of the display. And maintenance mode, you should avoid this as for maintenance or service engineers. Firmware updates, just to check for updates. There is an option to do this automatically, which will do it when you turn on the unit. As you see, we've updated the firmware in this unit, so it's bang up to date. And then the add new feature, again, you can set this to do this automatically. There are no new features that can be added at the moment, but there may well be in the future. And then there's the language settings, which is fairly self-explanatory, just to set which language is being used on the GUI. And then moving out of the manual setup into the information menu, and this just shows the information for various modes and statuses on the AVR-4310. Again, you can't actually change anything in this menu, just shows different information about the various things. So you've got the HDMI information here, and about the monitor outputs and the inputs. The auto surround mode information, what it's set to at the moment. The quick select information, so that's what happens when you press quick select 1, those are the things that will pop up. And you see it's across 2, 3 and zone 2 and 3, and then there's the preset channels, which we've not set up at the moment, and then just the statuses for the zones. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video guide to the Denon AVR-4310 AV receiver. If you'd like to see the rest of the Denon range, or to see some more video reviews, then please visit our website, www.avland.co.uk. Thanks very much.